Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And we are building in Sulani because you know what? As much as I would love to continue to be in denial, summer's here. Okay, it is. And I'm thinking beaches, I'm thinking tropics, and I'm thinking nice, sunny, warm weather. Now, I just don't like summer. I've said it before. It's not my favorite season. I'm not a huge fan. I would rather put like more things on to get warm, whereas you can only take so much off and like cool yourself down. Do you know what I mean? That's my logic. And summer's just not really my jam. However, I love, and I mean love, Sulani in The Sims 4, which came with the Island Living expansion pack maybe 4 years ago. 4 years ago. It was years ago at this point, which is kind of scary to me. I don't know where the time went, but anyway, we are building just a little beach house here on the Lagoon Look lot in Sulani. So even though this home is very small, it is not a tiny home at all. And the main reason for that is because I do put like this dock out towards the back of the house. I ended up flipping the house at some point, but I put a dock towards the back of the house, which of course counts towards the tile count, which is a little bit annoying to build here. It's hard to make a tiny home because of that, because you have so many water lots, like with water access like this. But anyway, it is a very small house. It is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. So this is ideal for, a single sim, maybe a couple of sims. It really just depends on who you envision living here. But I wasn't envisioning any particular sim. I just wanted it to be like this cute little tropical house. And I chose this bright yellow, like very vibrant yellowy orange siding from Growing Together. And I have to mention this because I was so inspired. This color scheme is not something that I would have thought of myself, and I wouldn't have felt bold enough to do this if I hadn't seen this absolutely stunning build by Honey May Sims. If you have not checked out their builds, you need to do it immediately. There was this beautiful beach house that they had ended up building, and I was blown away. It was like the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. And they'd used this siding as well as those climbing flowers from Jungle Adventure. It was so pretty. If I have the picture of the build, because I think I saw it on Twitter at some point, I'll put it on screen. But if not, you can definitely check out their channel and you can watch them on Twitch, because I love watching them on Twitch. They're an amazing builder. So yeah, definitely check that out. I did not come up with this color scheme at all. I wouldn't have, like I said, had the boldness to do it if I didn't see someone else do it first and be like, wow, wait, that looks really nice. It's really weird how that kind of stuff happens. I experience that a lot as a builder, where I have certain color combinations that I just think are like way too bold, way too vibrant. I'm like, oh gosh, that doesn't look good, does it? It's too much. I can't do that. I don't think that's gonna work. And I see someone else do it and I'm like, oh my God, that's so amazing. And just something clicks in my brain. I don't know what it is. If you experience that at all, definitely let me know. But yeah, you can see that we're trying to work on this kind of separate dock area, but I wasn't really liking the orientation of the house. So what I end up doing is I play around with this dock a little tiny bit, and then I turn the house towards the front of the lot with the deck kind of extending out towards the back in just a little bit of a different direction, just to kind of balance it out a little bit. And then we start working on the landscaping, which I had a lot of fun with this time. I've always mentioned that I like landscaping in Sulani, even though it's really difficult for me. It feels like it can come together pretty easily. And I did use a combination of plants from Island Living and Snowy Escape, actually. I thought they would go together pretty well, and I think I was right. You can tell me, but I think I was right. I just really liked it. It's a little bit overgrown. It is absolutely unkempt, but it's colorful and vibrant. And I really enjoyed it. And I tried to use, of course, a lot of palm trees around this build and just different colors. Like I have these blue bushes instead of just trying to match the color of the flowers that are on the house itself. But it's so pretty. I really liked it. I was actually very proud of this landscaping because last time I built here, I think it was a mermaid tiny house. And before that, it had been months and months since I had actually built here. And I didn't even know where to start. I was like, how do I landscape here again? Like, what do I do? I don't really know what my approach is here. Like, what am I doing? So here, finally, after making that little mermaid tiny house, I felt a lot more comfortable here, and I love how it came out. And there's also this little, I'll call it a side yard. There really isn't much here. I think I put that fish drying rack thing, and then there's a couple of like gardening pots, I think there's a couple of them, because I don't really know what to put on the beach as an activity. There's no kids in this build, otherwise I would have put like a swing set or something. But yeah, I put the little fish drying rack, and I put some gardening pots, and then I also put a bike kind of resting against this bamboo. It looks like bamboo. I think it was from Island Living as well. It could be a different material, but this very like natural looking fence. I put the bike that I think you got if you had pre-ordered Cottage Living, but it's technically categorized as base game. It's got a little flower basket on the front of it. I thought that was perfect for Sulani and a beach build, and I ended up placing it, like I mentioned, just up against the fence just to add a little bit of detail and customization, a little bit of realism, I suppose. At least to me, it's very realistic. I thought it looked really, really cute. I also added that little outdoor light, and then this is the bike that I was mentioning. It's really cute. I really like it. I don't know. I don't think unless you had pre-ordered Cottage Living within a certain like time frame, I think you got that as like a bonus item. I just can't remember. I think that's what it was. But now we are moving on to the interior, which was actually really difficult to figure out floor plan wise. I did have to section off just a tile and make it a little platform to kind of like fill it in, because the floor plan was going to be so wonky. The bathroom is pretty tiny. There's a combined kitchen, dining, and living. And then, as I mentioned, there's one bedroom. And then there's also that little like entryway-ish. It's where both the doors are. It's the front door and then the door to the back dock. And there is a computer desk there. So it's kind of just, it's a functional space, but there really isn't too much going on. But the first kind of section, I suppose, that we work on is the kitchen. And I knew I wanted it to be fairly vibrant. I didn't want to mix and match too many colors. You know, with this country kitchen kit, with the appliances from that little kit, there are a lot of vibrant colors, but there's also some softer ones. At first, I tried to just use the white swatches, and I tried to make the countertops a little bit more colorful, but I believe I changed the appliances eventually to yellow. Blue and yellow just go together. I believe they're complementary colors, so this makes all of the sense in the world. But I did mix and match a few different wood tones as well, because I kind of had to. With the countertops from the country kitchen kit and the upper head cabinets, they don't work very well. I appreciate the diversity in the cabinets because they're all different, like orientations. Well, orientations, I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know. Some of them just don't work. Okay, I'm at a loss for words. So I did pair them with the Parenthood cabinets up above, and they kind of sort of work, but they are a bit off with the colors in the wood tones. So that's when I kind of made the decision, like, I can just mix and match some wood tones. It's not going to be a big deal. And this ends up being the living space near this nice big bay window. And then I changed the appliances to yellow. I changed the curtains to yellow, and I was like, all right, this is looking more like a beach house. Here we are. We've arrived. I get it. It's cool. And I also used, again, because I can't stop using it, that TV from the Basement Treasures kit. Look, if you guys like older, like run-down looking items with a lot of character, they're great for storytelling, I'd recommend the kit. I can't lie to you. If you like that kind of stuff, it's perfect. And that's what it always comes down to. People ask me a lot, would you recommend this pack or kit or whatever the case is? And my answer is always, if it appeals to you. That's always my answer. In some way, shape, or form, that is how I always address that question. Because for me, if I think that I could use those items like in a build or for storytelling, it's worth it for me to purchase, But if it just doesn't appeal to me and I don't see a use for it myself and whatever it is that I do in the game, then it's not necessarily worth it to me. And that's always how I implore others to examine the packs and if they're worth their money or time, I suppose. Anyway, I am working on the kitchen still, trying to get some decorations. We have this little like life preserver thing. Life preserver, not lifesaver. That's the candy that looks like that. Anyway, the life preserver, and I tried to add a few curtains here. These are from Snowy Escape. And then there is only one countertop to cook on and prepare food, which is completely fine. Just means you can't do the cook together. action. Well, I mean, technically you could do it, but the other sim will be able to use a countertop to do anything. And then I cluttered the heck out of this corner countertop because I can. And I wanted it to be a little bit cluttered, and I wanted it to look really lived in as well. So I do add those little like seedlings from the Greenhouse Haven kit. We've got a candle, some sunflowers, as well as some like wooden utensils as well with that sunflower holder. I don't know why I think sunflowers when I think of tropics. I don't think those really go together, but I'm gonna make them go together. And then we have this bucket of onions, and the onions weren't the choice. I just wanted there to be a more subtle pattern and color scheme to the bucket. So that's what we did. And then I cluttered up that shelf right over the cabinet, added a smoke detector as always, and then put a couple of cookbooks on top of the stove. They do kind of blend in a bit with the cabinet on top of like overhead of the refrigerator. I can't talk today. But I didn't really mind. And then I just tried to find a few more decorations that I could put on these little blank spaces of wall. I did use a handful of these frames from the Growing Together expansion pack. And then I added this coffee table from high school years because of the flowers and all the different colors. I thought that was really pretty. And as you can see, we at least have a lot of seating. So even if you play with like 1 or 2 Sims, you're gonna have some space to have like a couple of friends over or something. I always think of that. You know, when I make tiny houses, specifically tiny houses, like actual tiny houses, there's never room to entertain. I think that's kind of a given. But when I make a smaller house like this, I genuinely think about stuff like that. I think about that. Now, you could probably add another chair, maybe one to that dining table if you wanted there to be a place for everybody to, like if you had a couple and they had a friend over, for everybody to kind of sit and eat their meal. But I just put 2 chairs there. It made the most sense. And then this is going to be the bedroom, which is a very awkward shape and a very awkward orientation. But I think it ended up working out. Now, your Sims can access both sides of the bed at the moment. I do put a hamper on the opposite wall, which likely blocks your Sim's ability to get to the right side of the bed. But the scoot feature has been working beautifully for me. I hope it works for you, because that is how you would be able to have 2 Sims still use that bed and live in this home without having to shuffle things around. So hopefully that works for you guys, because it definitely works for me. Finally, it didn't work for a super long time, but it finally works for me. And now I'm just trying to find some decorations for this bedroom just to kind of give it a little bit more personality. I kind of came up with nothing when I was in there at first, so I moved on to the bathroom because I knew it was just going to be pretty quick and I could kind of get it out of the way. It is very simplistic, nothing fancy, but I did use the shower from Jungle Adventure, which is really pretty, but I kind of pushed it into the walls just ever so slightly so you didn't see the tile, and it works great if you didn't know. And then I just added a few towels, and I used these lights from Eco Lifestyle, these overhead lights that I haven't used in a very long time, so that was kind of nice too. And then we moved back to the bedroom because I decided that I had enough ideas to kind of work with it. I added this painting, well actually I think it's a photograph of just kind of like this underwater shot. I thought it was very appropriate considering we are building a beach house. And then I added a few decorations on top of the dresser as well, like some lotions and some makeup. And then I have like, I think a stack of books as well, purely for decoration because I used move objects. You won't be able to, or your Sims won't be able to access it, I don't believe. And then I added a full-length mirror as well. And then here is the entryway where I just put another armchair. I think there's a side table with a lamp. And then I used this desk from Snowy Escape. It seems smaller than some of the other desks. I'm just saying. Like, literally, I think it seems smaller, but it's perfect because it fits in this little spot. And they have a desktop computer. And then I realized I was indeed building a beach house. So I added some overhead fans because I thought that would be very appropriate. And I put one in the bedroom and then one in the living space, I think. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. And then I just added a few more decorations to this desk. And there are 2 bookshelves, like almost right next to each other, which is a bit weird, but I kind of don't care. So there's another bookshelf there, a hanging plant, and then I just added a few lounge chairs to the dock and a floaty as well. You could add, of course, more things if you would like, but that is pretty much it for this build. I hope you all enjoyed this one. I can't wait to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you next time I post a video. Bye!
with me all the time.